Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news right now. You are looking live at part of Page Road that is closed in Durham. The crash that has caused a power outage to thousands. And a man is dead after a shooting at a local sports bar. What police tell us about the incident that happened around 1:30 this morning?
And I was happy I had my jacket when I stepped out this morning. Our temperatures are still in the 30s and 40s. I'll show you when we'll see even colder temperatures.
And at least 14 people are confirmed dead after Hurricane Milton moved through Florida. The new images we're seeing this morning of the damage from the storm. And two hockey teams with fans affected by recent hurricanes face off tonight in Raleigh. What we are looking forward to as the Carolina Hurricanes host the Tampa Bay Lightning in their season opener. A lot of people coming together to support the two states that were affected by the two storms. So we'll tell you about that coming up. Thanks for joining us at 8 o'clock. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
And I'm Renee Chu, and we're looking forward to another beautiful day ahead. The morning starting off on a chilly note. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center, the coolest in quite some time. Yeah, the last time we saw temperatures this chilly was at the end of April. So we're getting into, a whole new season now. It took us a while, right? Here we are in October, and it's starting to feel like it. This is a live look from the Jimmy V camera down Fayetteville Street. A little breezy. You can see the flags moving around, but lots of sunshine as you look down toward Memorial Auditorium. As people really start to get out and about, you're going to notice a lot of people in long sleeves and jackets. 46 is our temperature in the triangle, and the dew point's 43. That just means we have a very dry air mass in place. It's 37 in Roxborough. Temperatures have been in the upper 30s around Sanford. Elsewhere, we're mostly in the mid 40s, but running anywhere from 10 to about 15 degrees colder than this time yesterday. So that's a pretty dramatic drop for us. This afternoon, though, we'll stay nice and mild, around 70 degrees under mostly sunny skies. Coming up, we're going to talk about what the weather looks like for the weekend. Lots and lots of events planned. We will see a little bit of a warm up. Anthony?
And Elizabeth, as we check out the roads this morning, here's a look at I-40, the current delays. Not many showing up, just a negligible 2 minutes there, I-440 to US 1. As far as crashes are concerned, though, across the area, slowing things down just a little bit here in some spots. Our US 1 south from Wake Forest sensor kind of keeps going back and forth between about 15 minutes to 1 minute. What I would say is if you are headed in that direction, we've seen some signs of slowing down. So plan on 10 to 15 minutes of extra time there. Otherwise, those major approaches are looking pretty good, but several crashes there slowing things down out there this morning.
Anthony, thanks. Breaking news in Durham, where thousands are without power after a crash on Page Road. That's where you find WRAL's Kelsey Coffey. And Kelsey, what a mess out there as that car took down a bunch of power lines.
Yes, Renee, this happened just after 6:15 this morning. That's when Durham police got that call. Multiple vehicles were involved in this crash, so you can see how the power line there was hit. And there's a caution tape that's surrounding part of the street here. This is on Page Road. We'll give you a look now at Sky 5 video from about 30 minutes ago. Several utility poles were damaged during this crash, and right now thousands of customers in this area are without power. Now, one person was taken to the hospital with serious injuries, and traffic lights at 4 major intersections are not working due to that power outage. South Miami Boulevard and TW Alexander Drive, South Miami Boulevard and Andrew Avenue, Page Road and TW Alexander, Page Road and Lumley Road. So right now we're just working to find out when Duke Energy will be able to arrive here to help restore power for people in this area. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Durham.
And a woman is seriously hurt after she crashed into a construction truck crane around 1 o'clock this morning in Raleigh. This is video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker showing the damage to her car. It happened along Blue Ridge Road and Hillsborough Street in southwest Raleigh. Officials tell us that she is expected to survive. More breaking news. A man is dead after he was shot at a local sports bar. This happened just after 1:30 this morning at Big Apple Restaurant and Sports Pub in Fayetteville off Yadkin Road. WRAL's Destiny Patterson is there now with what we're learning about the investigation. Destiny.
Fayetteville police are investigating the shooting as a homicide, and while the police presence has tapered off, they were here for hours investigating the scene. I want you to take a look at what it looked like earlier this morning. Investigators spent much of their time and their energy focused on the patio area of this restaurant and sports bar here on Yadkins Road. But now we're working to learn what led up to that shooting. Fayetteville police say that they arrived on scene at about 1:40 this morning. And I looked up the hours of the restaurant. They are set to close at 2 a.m. So that's just about 20 minutes before closing time. As I mentioned, we're working to learn what led up to that shooting. And we also have a lot of questions regarding suspect information. That information has not been released at this hour. Fayetteville police also say that they have not released the identity of the person killed this morning as they're working to notify family. We'll continue to keep you updated with details as we learn them right here. Destiny Patterson, WRAL News, Fayetteville.
A clear sky paved the way for the northern lights to be visible in parts of North Carolina. Many of our viewers sent us pictures like this of the pink or purplish sky. The aurora borealis were last seen here in May, and WRAL meteorologist Kat Campbell tells us the northern lights were visible this time because of an active solar storm cycle on the sun. That means that we could get more opportunities in the future to see more northern lights. And you can be a WRAL weather watcher. Show us your best pictures of the northern lights. If you have a photo or video to share with us, go to WRAL.com/weatherwatchers. We may share it on TV or feature it online.
This morning, we are getting a clear look at the devastating impacts of Hurricane Milton in Florida. Drone video shows the damage across Siesta Key. That's where the hurricane made landfall as a Category 3 storm Wednesday night. And you can see the homes that are destroyed and roads flooded. Here's what we know right now. At least 14 people are confirmed dead due to the storm, including at least 6 in St. Lucie County, where tornadoes touched down before Milton even got there. Around 2.5 million people remain without power in Florida, according to poweroutage.us. Milton dropped more than 18 inches of rain on St. Petersburg, which represents more than a 1 in 1,000 year rainfall event there.
The Carolina Hurricanes and Tampa Bay Lightning are preparing for their season opener tonight at the Lenovo Center. Game 2 between the two teams in Tampa is postponed because of Hurricane Milton. The Lightning arrived in North Carolina on Monday before the storm hit, and their coach said power is out for most of the team back home, but aren't sure about the damage. This is on the heels of Hurricane Helene and the damage caused by that storm. Ironically, the game pits two states against each other that are dealing with natural disasters at the same time. The coaches hope tomorrow's puck drop will be a welcome distraction for both fan bases.
That's the one thing sports is it separates the reality of what's going on in the real world, and you can kind of get away for a couple hours and not think about what's going on.
Even though we're going to beat each other up tomorrow night, we're kind of in this all together, as a hockey community.
And at this point, there is no makeup date for the game on Saturday. It was postponed. The teams will face each other tonight.
Some people from Florida who evacuated to our state will head home today. You're looking live at RDU right now. There are 11 cancellations and 7 delays out of RDU. That includes 7 canceled flights out of Orlando and Tampa. Those airports just resumed operations this morning about 8 minutes ago.
And the Raleigh Urban Search and Rescue Team that was in western North Carolina as Helene rolled through is back in Raleigh after 9 days. This is video here of one of their first rescues in Haywood County. You can see the team rescuing a driver who drove into the floodwaters. They were the only team in that county during the storm, and for a few days after, senior firefighter Corey McGee says it was the worst destruction he's seen in 27 years of experience.
Having a good living, waking up, seeing your family, every day, and then going to somewhere that lost their whole house or, losing family members and stuff like that made it kind of rough, but we all dealt with it together.
And there are still members of the Raleigh team out in western North Carolina. No timetable for how long the operation will keep going. It is the first time that each team member will get a mental health debrief when they come home to make sure that they are doing okay.
This video shows how badly the storm damaged roads and infrastructure in western North Carolina. This is in Henderson County. Several bridges were washed away, huge amounts of debris littering the area 2 weeks after the storm. Fresh DOT crews from eastern North Carolina headed out west yesterday to help with cleanup and recovery. DOT workers say this damage is some of the most devastating that they've seen in their careers, and they hope to have some bridges reconnected in the next few weeks.
The North Carolina Veterans Day Parade has been canceled for the second year in a row. City leaders established a list of guidelines after 11-year-old Haley Brooks was hit and killed by a vehicle in the 2022 Raleigh Christmas Parade. However, organizers with the Wake County Council of Veterans say that the rules are too strict to meet deadlines in time. The parade was canceled last year because motorized vehicles were not allowed. But even with a walking or vehicle option this year, Richard Spirason admits that meeting new guidelines did not seem possible.
A lot of them sound very reasonable, not a question, but some of them just got overwhelming that we figured, how can we implement this? Can we do it in time?
And a city spokesperson wrote to WRAL saying that the organizers of the Veterans Day Parade were included in the process for guidelines. The city's top priority remains the health, safety, and welfare of the community.
Samaritan's Purse will receive more than $50,000 for Helene recovery today. The check delivery from North Carolina's treasurer.
And the 49ers took home a win against the Seattle Seahawks last night. More on that early game victory just ahead.
And they get it in. Smith.
8:14 now, a crisp start to our Friday morning. If you love the 40s, whew, it's almost cold weather for me. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. But look at that pretty blue sky right now.
Hey, 65 is cold weather for me. So, yeah, I'm all bundled up, like the Michelin Man out there this morning. No, not really, but I hate to be cold. So I did come in with my jacket this morning. Fayetteville, Raleigh, Apex, all looking absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful sunshine here in Chapel Hill, too, courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant. And, of course, last night, what a treat. The second time this year that we've been able to see the Aurora Borealis this far south. That is something extremely rare. I grew up in Raleigh, and I don't ever remember being able to see it until this year. The reason for that is some extra stormy conditions on the surface of the sun, and it ejects energy, and that energy is where we see the northern lights from. So Lisa Lowrance, who's actually a friend of mine, living near North Hills, sent me this last night, and then I got really excited, and I ran outside, but I couldn't see it in my neighborhood. So many trees, so many lights. So I love that everybody sent us their photos this morning. Go to WRAL.com, search Weather Watchers, and upload some photos of the northern lights or whatever fun is happening in your backyard. 39 in Siler City, 37 in Roxborough. Temperatures are beginning to creep up just a touch. Roanoke Rapids was in the 30s and now sitting at 40, and we dropped down to about 44 in the Triangle. We're back up to 46, but it's still chilly out there. 39 in Sanford and Robbins, 48 in Fayetteville and in Clinton. Frost advisory in the northern mountains, and that's a good reminder that people are now starting to ask for warm winter clothing. Those temperatures are getting cold. Go to WRAL.com, search Helene, and you can find specifically what people need and how to get it to them. They typically see freezing conditions before October 15th in our northern mountains. October 21st to the 31st is our typical window for the average first fall freeze. So that 21st is about a week and a half from now. Our southern counties are usually in that first week of November. We're going to see a nice afternoon, upper 60s to low 70s for highs today, but another chilly start tomorrow with temperatures back down into the 40s. Beautiful weekend, though. 70 today, 78 on Saturday and Sunday. Football forecast looking great. UNC kicks off at noon on Saturday, 74 degrees, and then 68 degrees at 8 o'clock as NC State kicks off. So beautiful weather for us. And we do have another push of cold air that comes in a little warmer ahead of this front over the weekend. And then we see this big dive of colder air that comes in, and you're really going to notice it. It's going to be even colder than this push of air. Beautiful weekend with temperatures near 80, but look at that. We go to 61 on Wednesday. And of course, the first day of the state fair is Thursday. Temperatures will be chilly. Anthony, we're looking at 41 for the morning low on Friday.
Well, and I'm noticing too the 80 degrees on there. North Carolina fall for you there with a lot of everything going on in the forecast. Hopefully, you've all though had a great start here to your Friday morning. Let's talk about where we sit as far as a couple crashes here on the map. Falls of Neuse Road southbound at Old Wake Forest Road. That one popped up here in the past 5 to 10 minutes. Thankfully, no major delays, though. All of the sensors are still in the green, but of course, it will impact impact your morning if you're headed in that direction. This one has been causing slowdowns, though. It's on Lake Boone Trail westbound, but right about the I-440 area, it's actually slowing down those on-ramps and even onto I-440. So just if you're headed in that direction, plan on about a 10 to 15 minute delay. One other crash to talk about here, South Mineral Springs Road southbound at Wake Forest. A little bit of a slowdown here in that direction this morning.
All right, thanks, Anthony. Candidates for a highly contested state Supreme Court seat will take part in a forum discussion this afternoon. The event is being hosted by the Federalist Society at the Raleigh Marriott City Center. The forum will include the Democratic incumbent Justice Allison Riggs and her Republican challenger, Court of Appeals Judge Jefferson Griffin. The discussion gets started at 3:30 and will be moderated by High Point professor Scott Gaylord.
UNC Chapel Hill will officially install Chancellor Lee Roberts during today's University Day celebrations. The annual celebrations begin at 11 a.m. at Memorial Hall, commemorating the construction of Old East, the nation's first state university building in 1793. Roberts was elected by the UNC Board of Governors in August. He served as the school's interim chancellor since January. In addition to Roberts' installation as chancellor, distinguished alums and faculty will also be honored at today's ceremony.
A clinic in northern Gaza that was housing displaced people was struck, killing at least 6 people. Gaza officials say an Israeli rocket hit the clinic in Gaza City. This video shows the aftermath. Officials say children sustained most of the 15 injuries from that strike. And this morning, the United Nations is accusing Israel of carrying out a policy of destroying the healthcare system in Gaza.
Vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance is praising people helping with the recovery efforts after Hurricane Helene. He made a campaign stop in Greensboro yesterday.
First of all, I want to thank you all for everything that you did. And I want to thank all the private relief agencies, the charities, the Good Samaritans who did their job and took care of their fellow Americans. God bless you guys. We should all be proud of them. And it would have been a lot worse without them.
Vance went on to criticize the federal response from FEMA and the Biden administration. Those claims have been debunked by Democratic and Republican leaders in North Carolina.
Meanwhile, the Kamala Harris campaign is pulling out the big guns for its final sprint to the presidential election. Former President Barack Obama spoke at a campaign rally for Vice President Harris and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz in Pittsburgh. Until now, he's been headlining fundraisers aimed at helping raise money for their campaign. And now, with 25 days to go, Obama is making his appearances much more public.
Today, State Treasurer Dale Folwell will return over $50,000 missing dollars to Samaritan's Purse to help with Helene relief efforts. This is interesting. The Treasury regularly holds undeliverable money in its unclaimed property division until it's claimed by the owner. And Treasury staff reviewed those unclaimed listings. They found more than $50,000 belonging to Samaritan's Purse. The money will aid recovery efforts in the flood-ravaged western portion of our state. A great find there by the staff. The federal agency providing relief to families affected by recent storms says it is stretched thin by the mounting impact across the country. FEMA has already spent more than $9 million of its $20 million budget for the next year. The agency has more than 1,000 personnel on the ground responding to Helene and Milton, while also assisting with flooding in Vermont. And then there were tornadoes in Kansas. All of this while still trying to help people recover from previous disasters dating back years. Despite the strain, federal leaders say they can and will continue to meet the immediate needs of people on the path to recovery.
A Wake County man is facing 2 felony charges after officials say he starved an animal to death. The Wake County Sheriff's Office and Animal Control were called to a home near Wendell yesterday. That's where they found 3 malnourished dogs and a malnourished cat and 1 dead dog. They charged 31-year-old Floyd Meeks with 1 count of killing an animal by starvation and another for cruelty to animals. The animals were removed from that property.
Today, PGA golfers are in Cary for the start of the SAS Championship. From 4 to 8 today, they will be hosting a family fun event and taking donations for hurricane relief. This is all happening at Presswood Country Club. After donating to hurricane relief, families can navigate through interactive AI-themed activities that demonstrate how tech is par for the course in everyday life. The SAS Championship will run through the weekend in Cary.
The San Francisco 49ers took home a 36-24 win over the Seattle Seahawks last night. The 49ers dominated through the early parts of the game, at one point over the Seahawks 23-3. 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy was efficient, throwing for 255 yards and 3 touchdowns. Seahawks QB Geno Smith struggled, completing less than half of his passes and throwing 2 interceptions. And on Sunday, the Atlanta Falcons will be at Bank of America Stadium to take on the Carolina Panthers. Kickoff is at 4:25. That game will air right here on Fox 50. And then after that, switch over to WRAL. The Cincinnati Bengals take on the New York Giants. That gets started at 8:20.
A section of the Blue Ridge Parkway reopened today after a full closure from Helene. Ahead, where drivers can now take a look and a loose timeline for the rest of the parkway.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Happy Friday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. We are starting off chilly for your Friday morning. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner has a look at the temperatures in the 40s this morning, Elizabeth.
Yeah, here it is almost 8:30 and we are still in the 40s. 46 in Durham, 46 in Raleigh, 48 in Fayetteville. But that sunshine will help to warm us up nicely. We'll see a high around 70 degrees later on this afternoon. But I was very happy when I grabbed my coat and walked outside. We still have that cool fall chill with temperatures in the mid 40s right now. Sorry, I didn't mean to grab the rain one. But we're definitely looking at sunshine this afternoon with a high of around 70 degrees. We warm up a little bit for the weekend, making it perfect for anything you're planning to do outside. Anthony?
Still have that beautiful dog walking through the background there, so it's perfect. As we head out there this morning, Elizabeth, we're looking at I-40 at Aviation Parkway. It's looking pretty calm here at just that normal morning congestion, I would say. There have been a couple crashes that we've been watching, none on this part of our viewing area, at least on that interstate right there in I-40. You look across the area, though, about a 5-minute delay at 98 there westbound from North Carolina 50, which we'll continue to watch, but otherwise looking pretty good here across those major approaches.
All right, thanks, Anthony. A woman is seriously hurt after she crashed into a construction truck crane around 1 o'clock this morning in Raleigh. It happened near Blue Ridge Road and Hillsborough Street. Officials tell us she is expected to survive. And tonight, the Carolina Hurricanes will host the Tampa Bay Lightning for their season opener. Both teams have fans who have been majorly impacted by hurricanes lately. Tomorrow night's game in Tampa is postponed because of Hurricane Milton. Next on Fox 50, the latest from a crash on Page Road in Durham County that has 6,000 people without power right now. And next on Today, a one-on-one with Nicholas Braun on his new movie, Saturday Night.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
A woman is seriously hurt after crashing into a construction truck crane this morning. What we know about what happened on Blue Ridge Road.
And it's still chilly out there, even though the sun's been up for a while. We're seeing 30s and 40s as you step out the door. I'll show you when some even colder air comes our way.
And tornadoes that moved through ahead of the hurricane caused a lot of damage in Florida. How communities look this morning after being devastated by the rotation in Milton's early bands.
And the sky was lit up with colors overnight. A look at how the Aurora Borealis shined in North Carolina sky, also known as the Northern Lights here in the Southeast. Gorgeous. We enjoyed seeing your pictures. Thank you so much for joining us on this Friday. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Yeah, I noticed when I was cooking dinner last night, I looked out my back door and I said, oh my gosh, the sky is so pink right now. It was beautiful. It was really beautiful. And it's beautiful this morning too, but it's chilly. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner, we are still in the 40s at 8 o'clock this morning.
You know, it looks lovely out there. Lots of sunshine. Of course, a beautiful live view of Zebulon where they have their gorgeous historic town hall, but it's only 46 degrees and we're not quite used to that. This is 10 to 15 degrees cooler than what we saw this time yesterday. Dew point is nice and low. That just means we have a dry air mass, so it feels crisp and chilly as you step out the door. Still 37 in Roxborough right now and elsewhere in the mid to upper 40s. And again, a good 10 to 15 degrees cooler than this time yesterday. Hour by hour, we're still going to warm up nicely. Expect a high of around 70 degrees with lots and lots of sunshine. I'll show you why we'll warm up a little bit for the weekend and then weekend. We'll also walk through a front that'll bring us some even colder weather for next week. Coming up, Anthony.
Elizabeth, as we get a check on the roads this morning, looking really good on I-40, thankfully. All of those sensors there are showing the green, and we have no major delays showing up there on I-40. A couple areas, though, here heading into the city of Raleigh, you can see a couple of those crashes popping up right there on 440. No major delays, though. Thankfully, you can see all of those major approaches are still in the green. I-87 south there, about a 1-minute delay, so probably pretty negligible as you're headed out. Also, same story for Durham. Those major approaches are looking pretty good. No major crashes to report. We're looking at about a 4-minute delay there, 98 westbound from North Carolina 50. Otherwise looking pretty good here this morning.
Thanks, Anthony. Breaking news this morning in Durham, where thousands are without power after a crash on Page Road. And that is where we find WRAL's Kelsey Coffey. Kelsey, what can you tell us about this accident?
Michelle, this crash happened around 6:15 this morning, and you can see some of this damage here behind me on Page Road. You see that orange truck there damaged, and what's really causing the issue is the utility poles that are down. So right now, thousands of people are without power because of that. We'll take you to some Sky 5 video now so you can get a better look at the scene there. But several utility poles were damaged during the crash, so right now 6,000 customers are without power in this area. We do know that one person was taken to the hospital with serious injuries, and this could impact your morning commute in Durham. Several traffic lights are out due to that power outage. So South Miami Boulevard and TW Alexander Drive, South Miami Boulevard and Andrew Avenue, Page Road and TW Alexander Drive, and Page Road and Lumley Road. And parents, we know that Bethesda Elementary School is not too far away from where this happened. Power was out there. They were able to restore it, so classes should resume there as normal. And we'll be sure to keep you updated on when power could be restored. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Durham.
A woman is seriously hurt after she crashed into a construction truck crane around 1 this morning in Raleigh. This video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker shows the damage to her car. It happened along Blue Ridge Road and Hillsborough Street in Southwest Raleigh. Officials tell us she is expected to survive.
And breaking news, a man is dead after he was shot at a local sports bar. This happened just after 1:30 this morning at Big Apple Restaurant and Sports Pub in Fayetteville. WRAL's Destiny Patterson was there as investigators work to learn more about the shooting.
Fayetteville police are investigating the shooting as a homicide, and while the police presence has tapered off, they were here for hours investigating the scene. I want you to take a look at what it looked like earlier this morning. Investigators spent much of their time and their energy focused on the patio area of this restaurant and sports bar here on Yadkin Road. But now we're working to learn what led up to that shooting. Fayetteville police say that they arrived on scene at about 1:40 this morning. And I looked up the hours of the restaurant. They are set to close at 2 a.m. So that's just about 20 minutes before closing time. As I mentioned, we're working to learn what led up to that shooting. And we also have a lot of questions regarding suspect information. That information has not been released at this hour. Fayetteville police also say that they have not released the identity of the person killed this morning as they're working to notify family. We'll continue to keep you updated with details as we learn them right here. Destiny Patterson, WRAL News, Fayetteville.
A clear sky paved the way for the northern lights to be visible from parts of North Carolina. Many of our viewers sent us these pictures of the pink and purplish sky. The aurora borealis was last seen here in May. Meteorologist Kat Campbell tells us the northern lights were visible this time because of an active solar storm cycle on the sun.
Sometimes you get what's called a coronal mass ejection, and it's a big area of plasma that just kind of erupts from the sun. And if it's directed at the Earth, that can mess with our magnetic field some.
Kat also says we are in such an active solar storm cycle, we could get more opportunities in the future to see more northern lights. And you can be a WRAL weather watcher. Show us your best pictures of the northern lights. If you have a photo or video to share with us, go to WRAL.com/weatherwatchers. We may share it on TV or feature it online.
This morning, we are following the devastating news out of Florida after Milton slammed the state. Footage like this of the barrier islands shows the widespread damage in places that are still trying to recover from earlier storms. So here's what we know right now. At least 14 people are confirmed dead because of the storm, including at least 6 in St. Lucie County, where tornadoes touched down before Milton arrived. Around 2.5 million people remain without power in the state. That's according to poweroutage.us. And Milton dropped more than 18 inches of rain on St. Petersburg, which represents more than a 1 in a 1,000-year rainfall event there.
And much of the damage we're seeing in Florida was caused by tornadoes that touched down before Milton made landfall. This is aerial video of the destruction in St. Lucie County, where at least 6 people died. You can see homes torn apart, ripped in half, roofs gone, and fences tossed about. And from the ground, you can see a semi-truck shredded. The bed of the truck flipped over. Twisted metal, wood, and debris just scattered all over the place.
And the Carolina Hurricanes and Tampa Bay Lightning, they're preparing for their season opener tonight at the Lenovo Center. The game 2 between the two teams in Tampa is postponed because of Hurricane Milton. The Lightning arrived in North Carolina on Monday. They got here before the storm, and their coach said power is out for most of the team back home, but they're not sure about the damage. This is on the heels of Hurricane Helene and the damage caused by that storm. Ironically, the game pits 2 states against each other that are dealing with natural disasters at the same time. The coaches hope that tonight's puck drop will be a welcomed distraction for both fan bases.
That's the one thing sports is kind of, it separates the reality of what's going on in the real world, and you can kind of get away for a couple hours and not think about what's going on.
Even though we're going to beat each other up tomorrow night, we're kind of all in this all together, you know, as a hockey community.
At this point, there's no makeup date for the game on Saturday that was postponed.
Some people from Florida who evacuated to our state will likely make their way home today. You're looking live at RDU. If you have a flight out, there shouldn't be any weather issues. Right now, there are 11 cancellations and 7 delays out of RDU. And that includes 7 canceled flights out of Orlando and Tampa as those airports get back on track. They resumed normal operations earlier this morning.
And at the top of the hour, part of the Blue Ridge Parkway will reopen. It has been closed for the past week and a half because of Helene. The stretch from milepost 0 to milepost 198 in Virginia will reopen. It is opened. It reopened at 8 o'clock this morning. The rest of the Virginia stretch could be open in the weeks ahead. It will take a while longer for the part in North Carolina.
Governor Roy Cooper signed a recovery package into law. State lawmakers unanimously approved a $273 million recovery aid bill for Western North Carolina. It passed quickly through the Republican-controlled legislature and contained much of what Governor Cooper had requested. More funding is expected. This is just the first round in state relief. Tickets are nearly sold out for a Helene Recovery Benefit Show. How you can attend concert for the Carolinas, but we'll tell you how much you'll have to pay.
And a police chief attacked by a bear while working on Helene recovery. Why the bear was so agitated amid the storm's devastation.
And you're looking live at our Fayetteville newsroom on this chilly Friday morning. We are still in the upper 40s. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will give us a look at a slightly warmer weekend forecast.
Welcome back, 8:43 on your Friday morning, and we are starting off very chilly. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center in the 40s still.
It looks so beautiful, and I feel like, we're not used to seeing temperatures or feeling temperatures this chilly, so you look outside and think, oh, it's great. You open the door and you're like, oh, what? Wait a minute. It's 46 degrees right now at the airport. Our dew point is 43. Again, the dew point is the measure of moisture in the atmosphere, so it means it's very low. So really crisp, chilly feel for us. And then we'll have a lovely afternoon, too. We do climb up to 70 this afternoon. So even though we're starting really chilly, we'll have a big jump in our temperature this afternoon. Speaking of jump, we're starting to see that jump now as we're getting closer to 9 o'clock. It's now 50 in Goldsboro and in South Hill, 41 in Roxboro. Roxboro dropped down into the 30s this morning. Siler City did, as well as Roanoke Rapids, and Sanford too also dropped into the 30s. So beginning to see temperatures creep up just a bit. It's 49 in Irwin now and 42 in Sanford. That's still on the chilly side, and this is the coldest air that we've seen since April 23rd. Tomorrow morning is going to be equally chilly. We probably won't have the same chance to see the northern lights as we did last night. Thanks to Bob Poteet, who took this picture over Lake Gaston. Boy, you have so much sky there. Looking to the north, saw those beautiful colors. Thanks for sending us that photo. We got so many of your photos. We appreciate you sending them. WRAL.com, search Weather Watchers, and it'll show you how to post a photo. Around town today, 70 in Raleigh, 69 in Durham, 72 in Fayetteville, and it will be cold again tonight. Temperatures will be right about the same, looking at mid to upper 40s, and there may be some pockets where we drop into the 30s. 53 is our normal low. So, of course, this morning we were well below, a little warmer over the weekend, and then we see another front come through that drops our temperatures considerably. So even colder Wednesday morning than we are right now, and we'll see those temperatures dropping even farther. Normal high 75, and so we'll be above normal this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, upper 70s to around 80. But very soon thereafter, when the front comes through on Monday, our temperatures are going to take a big drop. But get outside and enjoy the weekend. It's going to be so pretty with temperatures close to 80, low humidity. I mean, just fabulous fall weekend, and so many things going on, lots of festivals. If you're headed out to the Canes season opener tonight, as you're tailgating around 5, 6 o'clock, temperatures will be in the upper 60s, and then coming out of the game around 55. Headed out to football Friday, take along your sweatshirt, because by the time the games are over, temperatures will be in the mid 50s, so it will be chilly. Again, beautiful weekend in our forecast, and then we turn really chilly just before the first day of the State Fair on Thursday.
And Jeff Hogan at the WRAL Live Center, and making a trip around Europe, proposing to end the war with Ukraine. Volodymyr Zelensky had a private audience with the Pope today. He's been visiting world leaders all around Europe, talking about his victory plan. But this is a private audience with the Pope. The two got together there. He's trying to win support for that victory plan he's proposing and end the war with Russia. The Pope and the Ukrainian leader talked for 35 minutes. They talked about the state of the war, the humanitarian situation that's going on in Ukraine now, as well as ways that this all could be brought to an end and lead to what the Vatican said in a statement would be a just and stable peace in the country.
Jeff, thanks. The Team Trump bus tour will be making additional stops in our state today as former President Trump holds rallies in Colorado and Nevada. The tour will stop in Lincolnton at Lincoln County GOP headquarters on East Main Street at 11 this morning. And then at 1:30 this afternoon, the bus will stop at the Iredell County GOP headquarters in Statesville. You'll need to register for tickets on the Trump campaign website.
And Vice President Kamala Harris held a rally in Phoenix, Arizona yesterday as early voting gets underway. And Harris is on a campaign swing in the western part of the country, hoping to win over Hispanic voters. She talked about the economy and reproductive rights, but avoided talk about the border. Harris said that she remains in close contact with federal, state, and local authorities in the wake of Helene and Milton.
Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson will campaign in Wilmington this weekend. Robinson plans to meet with voters in the community, beginning with a meet and greet at Carolina Barbecue on South College Road at 3:30 today. He will then travel to Wrightsville Beach for a fundraising dinner. Robinson will stay in the area through the weekend with more community events planned at the coast on Sunday.
A woman who survived Hurricane Helene in the North Carolina mountains is no stranger to adversity. Ronell Randall lives out of a solar-powered van on a property in Yancey County, and she feels blessed to still be alive, but is grieving the loss of her neighbors. They were a family of 4 who died in the floodwaters. Now she and others are using a mountaintop as a supplies warehouse, trying to help others who lost everything.
I'm putting so much effort into this because I know once the adrenaline goes down and then the grief sits, then the trying to go back to normal, it doesn't go back to normal.
And she has survived multiple natural disasters. She's a survivor of Hurricane Katrina.
We have an update on when colleges and universities will get back up and running in Western North Carolina. App State will start back up next Wednesday. UNC Asheville is starting virtual classes on the 28th, then staying virtual for the rest of the semester. Lee's McRae is staying virtual for now as well, but not clear when it will reopen. And Western Carolina will start classes on the 21st.
The police chief at the UNC system-owned Arboretum outside Asheville was attacked by a bear during Helene cleanup. This is video of the area before Helene hit. The attack happened over the weekend when the chief went to check on the property and she came upon the bear. The bear was agitated because his habitat was damaged and he charged toward her.
She was attacked by a bear and came this close to losing her life. Now, she, good mountain gal, she knew how to deal with the situation. I salute her strength and courage.
And he went on to say that once she is better, he plans to go visit her personally.
The New York Yankees and the Mets punched their tickets to the League Championship Series. The Mets beat out the Philadelphia Phillies after a sixth-inning grand slam by Francisco Lindor. They will play the winner of tonight's matchup against the San Diego Padres and Los Angeles Dodgers on Sunday. The Yankees won over the Kansas City Royals. On Monday, the Yankees will face off against the winner of Saturday's matchup between the Detroit Tigers and Cleveland Guardians. Exciting playoffs and headed toward the World Series eventually.
So exciting. I'm a Mets fan. That grand slam, I still got goosebumps. It's amazing. All right, well, we are now less than 1 week away from the 2024 North Carolina State Fair, and the excitement is building. This year, 2 new rides will be added. The State Fair slide is 210 feet. The other new addition is the Candy Adventure Funhouse. You'll also find new entertainment with a strolling piano and fun pumpkin art by artist Jim Beal. Early tickets are now on sale.
Halloween season is in full swing, and we have some spooky out and about best bets for a fun weekend in the Triangle. So let's start with a ghostly movie night in Cary.
My favorite type of movie, a ghostly movie. Tonight, you can head over to downtown Cary Park for a screening of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. It'll get started at 6 o'clock on the Great Lawn Pavilion. The movie is PG-13, and the screening is free.
I don't know if Ghostbusters is scary enough for
your
level.
Exactly.
Tomorrow you can head over to Apex for Oktoberfest. The family-friendly event begins at noon at Apex Town Hall campus. There will be music, food, beer, a kids zone, and much more. The Little German Band will also perform.
And also on Saturday, you can indulge your taste buds in a hauntingly delicious array of treats from food trucks at the Garner Performing Arts Center. The Trick or Eat Food Truck Rodeo and Artisan Market is happening from 6 to 10 p.m. Grab some food and browse the unique creations at the market. There will also be a costume contest, so make sure to come in your Halloween costume. Entry is free, and for a look at even more fall fun near the Triangle this weekend, you can visit WRAL.com and search Out and About.
Halloween is a month-long celebration.
Yes.
Well, tickets for a big concert for Helene survivors are sold out with the exception of Platinum charity tickets. The Platinum tier costs $2,000. Sheryl Crow, Keith Urban, and Bailey Zimmerman have joined the lineup for the Concert for Carolina in Charlotte, and they will join Luke Combs, Eric Church, Billy Strings, and James Taylor. They will all be playing at Bank of America Stadium on October 26th, and all proceeds will go toward the hurricane relief effort. Another benefit concert for Western North Carolina, a lot closer to home. It'll be here in Raleigh. WRAL is proud to be the media sponsor for Music for the Mountains. The show will be at Red Hat Amphitheater Sunday, October 27th, starting at 6 p.m. Old Crow Medicine Show is a headliner. All ticket proceeds will go to the Community Foundation of Western North Carolina, and tickets go on sale this morning at 10. And tune in to Fox 50 at 9:30 this morning. We will release the full lineup. Before we go to break, here's a look at the winning lottery numbers.